What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hello, my name is Tyler Tarver, and this is the Tarver Academy YouTube channel. Today, I want to walk you through a couple resources you can get from me and some from Google, and then how to get to the level 1 educator exam, and then, what to expect on it. So it's kind of like a full walkthrough look at it. I'm not going to be training you on the exam, but I'm going to give you every tool you need and walkthroughs and checklists on how you can be successful and pass this exam. A little bit about this. As you may know, to become certified with Google, you can become a level 1 certified educator. That's a 3-hour test. It costs $10. It's the one we're looking at today. After you pass that, you can take another 3-hour test. I think it costs $25 last time I checked. And it's like the first one, but you're like bringing in, Google Sites, YouTube, a lot of these other Google products that are a little bit more advanced and, doc sheets, slides, Gmail, things like that, forms. Those are more in the level 1. You're going to bring in that other stuff in level 2, although it might touch on it. So a lot more sharing, a lot more integration on level 2, but you have to pass level 1 first. So if you're not a Google level 1 educator, I highly recommend staying with me as I go through this video. This is a great certification to have. I've interviewed over 200 teachers for teaching positions, and I think maybe we had one, maybe two that came in and had their Google level 1 educator exam. It's a $10 exam, and most people that are comfortable with Google could probably pass it. So I'm going to give you a checklist and a look at it to see if you can pass it now, or maybe you need to watch a few videos and pass it. I highly recommend, as an administrator for schools, I would highly recommend you get this on your resume, whether you want to stay at your district forever, or maybe you want to move up at that district or go somewhere else. Get this. It shows a lot of your abilities within the program that everybody's using. So sorry, this is me building it out on my Patreon. So if you're watching this, this is for my Patreon members only. If you're seeing it on YouTube right now, it's because I have it there until I switch it over, and it's only for Patreon. So it'll just be available to them. So if you want to join the Patreon family, hit that link you see below my face, patreon.com/Tyler Tarver. And I have links to that in the description. Okay, for everybody else in Patreon, you're watching this video in there. All the links are under the video. All the things I'm going to talk about will be under there. Okay, so whenever you are taking the level 1 exam, I'll link to this website. This is from Google. This is your level 1, earn your educator level 1 certification. I don't know why I said certification weird, but you're going to earn this mug. 3 hours, we already talked about that. It's 180 minutes. And it's $10. You can register right here. So I'm going to link to this on the Patreon. So if you want to go and take it, if you feel comfortable, if you look through the stuff I'm about to show you and you're like, I feel like I got all that, most of that, cool. Hit register, you're good to go. Okay, start taking that. I've also left my ID in there. My trainer ID is 04118. If you need that, 04118. It'll ask you that at some part in there. So if I helped you use these resources, you're more than welcome to use me as the trainer that helped you. So here are some resources on their page. Here is a link, and I want to show you this before we get into my stuff. We got this for practice problems. I'm going to link that PDF. I downloaded and re-uploaded it. It's attached in the Patreon if you want to just get it from there, or you can take it from here. And we're going to walk through a few of those questions, give you some examples, something to look at, kind of what to expect as you do this exam. And then also here is start the training. So Google has their own training stuff too. It's very formal. It's Google. I mean, it's done with excellence, and it's organized based on different topics. So what they did was they took different topics and made them units. And then inside of that, they've broken it down into these different parts of, here we go. I'll read them out to you if that's okay. You can read, but I'll read them anyways. You're ready to use tech in the classroom. And then it's got different things you can use through that. Expand your help and learning. I've actually got videos on how to do all these. This is the curriculum I used. Expand your access and help and learning. Have a mostly paperless classroom. Save time communicating. All these things are super important. If you get a chance to go through these, I would highly recommend it. What I'm going to show you is the resource I have is more for like, hey, let's pass this exam and let's get you on to the next one, the level 2 exam. Then once you pass both of those, then you can apply to be a trainer or an innovator. So there is that. You'll need to log in. You can just use your school account. I would recommend your personal Gmail account, because in case you leave that school, it'll still be connected to that. Because whatever you log in and take these tests with, that say you do move on and become a trainer, there's like this activity area where you input all your trainer stuff, and you'd want to use your personal account, because if you ever leave your district, you want it to all stay with that. So I'll link to this page so you can take the test. I'll link directly to the test as well. So I'll give all these links under the description in Patreon under this video. So if you want those, there they are. Now I'm going to show you my resource that I made in collaboration with Eric Kurtz. Eric Kurtz made this actually a few years ago. He made a skills checklist. He took, I think there's like 240 different skills that you need, all the way from like how to create a new Google Doc all the way into like, voice recording and voice typing and all this other stuff. So it's a wide range of skills, but it's pretty comprehensive. He made a list of all of these skills and made it to like a checklist. So here's, you can take a look and see these are all, check boxes where you can go in and, take care of that stuff. Now, what I did was I took his checklist with his permission. I asked him first. I made a copy of it. And then what I did is I made a tutorial video for every single one of these skills. So every single thing in here, if you're looking at it, you're like, oh, Google Sheets, and you're looking through, you're like, I know how to create a Google Sheet. I know some vocabulary. I know how to format cells. How do I use formulas and functions? You could click on it and it'll take you to a YouTube video of me explaining how to do that in just a few minutes. And so it's me breaking that down for you. It's weird hearing myself in my ear, but also like talking through here. So you can roll through this. And here's what I would recommend. Give you like a user tip. This is a lot, okay? And it's honestly can be overwhelming if you're trying to do this. Here's what I would do. You ready? I'm going to walk you guys through it. Go to File, make a copy. Now, it's going to be a copy of what I just had. So if I ever update it, you won't get the new updates. But this is pretty set. Like it doesn't change a whole lot with regards to these exams. So now this is your copy. You weren't able to edit my copy a second ago, okay? But you can take this new copy and you can edit it. And this is how I recommend you study for this exam. As you're going through it, let's start out in Google Drive. Let's say you know how to create files. Just delete that. You could take that, delete it. Boom. Okay, do I know how to access and organize files? Yeah, I can do both of those. Delete those. And it's like you can work your way down and delete the stuff you don't know how to do until you can just look at it and be like, oh yeah, I know how to share files. And you know exactly what to do. And if not, you can click on it and go through the resource. And it's something you can edit because you made a copy of it. You took mine, you took that freeze frame of what it looked like, and now you can delete everything out of it. So go in here. This is like a quick jump. So say you want to jump to like Google Meet. You just click this and it'll jump down to where Google Meet is in this spreadsheet. Now, if you see these up here, you see how I highlighted the titles? That is like a full walkthrough. And so if you're like, oh, I need to know how to do Google Meet, and these are all like little short videos, all these are like 5 minutes or less each. This right here is a longer one. It's like a 30-minute video of me going through Meet. There's a 45-minute video on, actually, that's a 55-minute video on Gmail. You're like, I don't need 55 minutes on Gmail. If you're overwhelmed by email, yes, you do. Okay. So I think this is a great resource for you. I think it could severely help you with your training for the exam. And so if you want that, that is linked below as well. Or the short link is bit.ly/gtarver. But you won't have to use that because I have the link below if you're a Patreon subscriber. And I've also got my ID right here if you want to use me as your trainer. If not, totally cool. You do you. It just means that I helped you with it. So let's look at a few questions that you might face on the exam. So Google is kind enough to give us a sample exam questions. You're going to get a lot of multiple choice, but then you also get scenario stuff. Okay, so I'm going to kind of read a couple to you. And I know most of you guys are teachers. You train students on this. I get that. But I'm going to kind of give you some walkthrough because of their wording. It's like, especially in areas if you're not like, oh, I'm super comfortable with it, they're trying to word it in a way that you have to really pay attention to the questions. So let's look at the first one. So sample question 1. Students in your history class are having difficulty understanding the significance of World War II. So you know you're studying World War II. What activities could help your students get more engaged? Okay, we want to get them engaged. So it's not about testing, it's not about assessment, it's about getting them engaged in World War II, which I'm going to highlight that as well so you can see it. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Oh, look at these little check boxes. I didn't mean to do that. Students create YouTube videos describing key battles in World War II. That looks like a good answer. Okay. Students create YouTube videos describing key battles. I mean, that seems engaging. Seems like students be into it. You're using YouTube, which is a Google product. Seems good. Teacher creates a final exam in forums to give students a grade on what they know. Now you're like, okay, well, forums is Google, but that's not really about engaging. Remember your questions. This is stuff you teach students all the time. What activities could help students get more engaged? Taking a test is not going to make them more engaged. Okay. It's just a way for you to assess what they're doing. Students use the Explore tool to search for more information in docs. That might be engaging. They're doing more research. I think it's better than the previous one, but I wouldn't go with it right away. Students answer questions at the end of the chapter on World War II. That seems super not engaging as well. If you're picking the top 2 most engaging ones for students, I would definitely go with these 2 right here. I just messed everything up. Oh my goodness. There we go. So use the Explore tool to search for more stuff in docs. And these, it's really what they're testing you on is your terminology. So if you don't know what the Explore tool is in docs, then that one probably doesn't make a lot of sense to you. But you could go over here and you just hit Command F, and I'm looking for Explore. And it's not in there, but there is an Explore tool. It's right here. I'm in docs. This down here in the bottom right is your Explore tool. I don't know if you needed to know that, but apparently this practice question wasn't on there. They've changed the name, maybe. I have to look. It makes me super self-conscious now. But, I trust Eric. He made the list, and he's a smart dude. So those would be the 2 that I would use. They do have a lot of drag and drop stuff in the exam. So drag and drop to match the feature of Gmail with the benefit of using the tool. So they're going to have benefits over here. They didn't include those, but you need to know the terminology. So this terminology right here, so canned responses. I've actually done videos on this. I've done training. I've included in my Patreon group. It's the stuff where it's like you can build templates out. They call those canned responses. They're just email templates where you can send it, like open up an email, click it, and it like fills in everything. So by the way, if you want those, they're on Patreon, and I've got some for discipline and for truancy, and if they miss virtual classes. So Patreon. Anytime, anywhere access. So that just means that it's available on the internet. And then labels, that's just the way that Google uses. They also call it tags. So they tag in there as well. So we should do, like, would you guys let me know in Patreon if you would be interested in us doing, like, I don't know, like we all work towards this training. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, but if you wanted to, like, we could do this summer, like a full PD. We do like a 1 or 2 day thing for any Patreon member. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'm building out my summer virtual PD stuff right now. Here's another one. Your students have answered a few questions about an upcoming presidential election. It's very relevant. And submitted their results in a Google form. Okay, Google Forms you need to know for this exam. You want to review their opinions to prepare for an upcoming class. Okay. Access the election options and view the results in a spreadsheet. Sort the sheet. So this would be one where you would, like the case study side of it. So it's like you're taking what they're starting with, and then you're going in, you're going to build it. So they give you like a fake email, this like a burner account if you want. It's like a fake email, a fake account where you can go in and make copies of stuff in Drive and share things. And they've already got documents in there. So it's not like empty, like you're starting from scratch, but they'll give you stuff and then you got to go in and share it and do all the stuff they're talking about. I know all of these things are in there. So after you just like practice these out, you can check those off. And the last one, we want to be sure the students are able to view your award winners broadcast at a later date. Sorry, I hiccuped in my head. You decide to share. That was my dog, not me. My dog just growled at himself. You decide to share the video again to your YouTube channel to maximize views. Complete the following tasks. All right, and I've got all these examples of how to do that there. So this is from Google, and I'll include this in your stuff that you have as Patreon people, Patreon members, fam, what's up, Patreon. So there you go. I hope these tools help. I hope this assists you as you go through and prepare for this exam. I highly recommend it. If you have any questions, you guys know I'm here. Hit me up. Ask me if you're concerned about something. If there's something I said that I need to clarify on, you can hit me up, message me in Patreon, and I got yo back. So hope this helps. Stay good, stay sweet. And like we always say here at Tarver Academy YouTube channel, never stop learning. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Brr, brr. Where you go, Inception.